My name is Imarn Ayton.
Stop killing the man there!
I started BRM, the Black Reformist Movement. I am very much focused on institutionalised racism. I'm walking down Peckham High Street and I see a horde of people walking towards me and they're chanting, "Black Lives Matter, hey, Black Lives Matter." And I just felt it. And I instinctively jumped over roadworks and I joined this protest. And that is how the journey began. I actually went to the 31st of May and I personally felt it was quite quiet. I just felt like there was something missing. I stood on a pillar to look for the leaders. There was no one. The reason why I knew that is because everyone decided to stare back at me. So a random lady, she came over to me, she tapped me on my ankle and she said, "Here you go, here's a megaphone." So I'm like, okay. Do I run after this random lady and say, "Hey, here you go, take back your megaphone"? Or do I stand here and use it? That led to doing speeches alongside John Boyega on the 3rd of June. I ended up becoming an organiser of some of the biggest BLM protests in London. What was even more surreal was Madonna was there, and I was fortunate enough to lead Madonna and her family on a march. And what also made me really, really proud about this movement was the fact that I personally believe in peace. And so what I was able to do was contribute to keeping that narrative throughout the whole of the BLM movement. A lot of people assume that I was with the organisation Black Lives Matter UK. For me, I was just Imarn Ayton, unapologetically me, passionate. I didn't realise that there was two very clear ideologies within this movement, which is abolitionists and reformists. So I represented the reformists. I thought we should be focused on that as opposed to talking about abolish the police. And that offended a few people, but ultimately we all want the same thing. We have the one single objective, which is equality for black people. What truly needs to change is our collective understanding of racism and all of its forms, because it's about having conversations that we usually feel quite uncomfortable to have. Of course, we are going through a pandemic, and the last thing we want is for people to suffer due to those decisions of coming together. And the reality is, racism is a virus that has killed many more people than COVID. So it is time to stand up. And so I made that decision, and so did many other people. I found my voice, and I was able to inspire others to do the same. And that was the most important thing for me.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!